Hey friends, so earlier today I took out this bag of sourdough ends, bread ends from my freezer. So when we have sourdough bread, or even if there's a whole slice in here, even if it just gets a little too stale for what I wanted our fresh sourdough bread for, but majority of this is the end pieces. It goes into this bag that I've been keeping in my freezer. This bag is full and it's been sitting there for a couple of months now. It's been sitting there, well, I started this bag the 12th of January this year. So it's taken a while. I only make a loaf of sourdough maybe once or twice a month. We're not just sourdough eaters, we do eat different breads, but this is just a bag of the sourdough ends. And we're gonna turn this into bread and butter pudding. So we're not making fresh sourdough for that. This is perfect way if you have a loaf of sourdough where you just didn't end up eating it in time and it's starting to get a little stale and not the best, or doesn't even have to be a sourdough recipe. You can use any bread for this. You can buy store-bought bread, homemade, other types of bread loaves. This would all be fine, but this is just what I'm having. I'm in the process of clearing out my freezers. So we're just doing one project at a time, and today we are doing the sourdough. Alrighty, so this bread is now defrosted and I got too much bread compared to my dish. So, can bread be refrozen? I think so. I don't know. But what we're going to do is I want to butter any pieces that is cut. So here, as you can see, we just got a slice. This probably didn't go stale. It wasn't that it was stale. It actually feels quite nice, but obviously I cut this extremely crooked. So what we want to do, and you don't need to be precise, but we want to spread butter on our bread. This butter's not quite room temp. I mean, it sits out on our bench, but we are winter here in Australia, so it's very cold. Here you can see we have an end. I might chop these up a bit as well. But I'll just go through now just to place some butter. And although I'm doing it quite thick, these are thick pieces of bread and it'll be fine. All right, so this has filled up this dish of our bread and butter. We got half a bag. So I'm gonna put this back in the freezer. I'm sure it'll be fine. Obviously, before I use it, I will check it. So we didn't clear out a bag today. I mean, I could make two. We're not going to eat two. So I would rather put this back into the freezer, and if this works out delicious, then we can do this again next week or next fortnight or something. And then this bag will be used up and empty. And all I want to do is make these a bit more smaller pieces. And you can definitely come back in and butter all these open edges, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to melt some butter, I think, and pour it on top of the bread as well. So now what I'm going to do, I was going to melt the butter, but I think what we'll do instead, just grab a tablespoon and we're just going to cut little pieces and dab it around, and that's going to melt into our bread. Just to saves us a step of buttering every single slice. We know every single slice we will definitely have butter because we did butter it, but this will just be a little bit quicker, I think. Quicker, easy, and a little bit of a cheats way. So there we go. And what we're gonna do is make our custard. So, traditionally bread and butter pudding does have sultanas in it, but I don't like sultanas in baked goods. I don't mind some fruits, but sultana is not one of them. And I'm just looking at this egg now I'm about to crack. There is a crack in this egg, so I'm not using that. I can go straight into the compost bowl. All right, so We want 3 eggs. We'll just gently beat these up by themselves. And to that, we'll do 1 cup of cream. It's a little bit more than a cup. It's probably like 1.25 cups, but this is just finishing off my container. Rather than leaving a tiny bit of cream in my fridge, I'll just use it all now. And that will be fine. We want about 1.5 cups of milk. So that was just using off that milk. I'll do a bit more. That'll be fine. Teaspoon of vanilla. Or 2. About a teaspoon of cinnamon. Nutmeg as well will be really nice. I don't have any. If I did have nutmeg, I would only use like 1/4 teaspoon. And 1/2 cup of sugar. And this is our custard filling. Alrighty, we'll bring our bread back and we'll pour this over. And when this bakes, it will be like a nice, delicious custard. We just want to let this soak for a good 30 minutes before we bake it. And let me tell you, this smells absolutely delicious. All right, so I'll let this soak 30 minutes just here, it'll be fine. So I got 30 minutes back before we bake this. So I'm gonna just clean up, wait about 15 minutes, then I'll start my oven preheating for 180 degrees Celsius. And then once that's preheated, it should be ready to bake. All right, so this has been soaking for half an hour. You can just see it's so nice and just soft. I'm so excited. So oven's preheated, this has been soaking for half an hour. We'll chuck it into the oven now and we'll probably bake for about 25-30 minutes. I'm excited. One thing I did want to quickly mention though is I did have 1 piece of my bread. I did originally butter and put it in my dish, but then when it came to cutting, it was so hard. It was way too stale and the outside was quite dark. So I think it was like a little bit overbaked on that side and it was also extra stale. So I'm like, that's not gonna be enjoyable to eat, especially with like a sourdough type of bread because it's so crusty already. So although majority of my pieces are a little bit stale or just the ends, like I mentioned, it's generally fine. But if you think a piece is too hard, I wouldn't worry about putting it in your dish. It just went in the bin and that is okay because we want this dish to be enjoyable. So we don't want too heavily stale pieces or overcooked pieces in this. It's like you win some, you lose some, and we can't save every single piece of bread. That is okay. And also, although we got my bread still in the freezer, it's like half the space. So I'm pretty happy about that. We still got some bread in the freezer, but it's okay because yeah, it's still less than what there is and we get a delicious dessert to enjoy tonight. Well, in 30 minutes. All right, just hang out the oven, 25 minutes. I would have left it in for 5 more minutes, but we're in a rush. So it's nice. It's just nice and toasty. Oh, look at that piece, yum. Yeah, I would have done 5 more minutes, but it's fine. The consistency of the custard is good. There's a very slight jiggle to it. That's completely fine. As it cools, it will set up a little bit. We do want to serve this warm, but we don't want to serve it piping hot. So I'm going to let it sit there for about 10-15 minutes, which is perfect time because I have to duck out for about 10-15 minutes. This smells absolutely divine. Oh my goodness. And it's still nice and warm. So we're going to serve it. It looks a little, I do think an extra 5 minutes definitely. I'm not going to worry about chucking it in, like it's fine. It's not raw egg. The eggs have came up to temperature, so that's fine. Just a little bit runnier. But if I had that extra 5-8 minutes, I'd have that a little bit more color on top and the mixture would be a little bit more thicker, but it is fine. It's going to be delicious. What I might do actually, I might dust it with some icing sugar, and I do have some ice cream to serve it in. I'm just going to get a sifter to sift over just a little bit of icing sugar. You don't want to do icing sugar straight away, it will just melt, but I think it will just make it look a little pretty. Oh, just a little bit. Yeah, that makes it pretty. I'm a complete mess. I should have, for pictures purposes, should have probably taken this off for, do I want a picture like this? I think I do. Let's get a new tea towel. All right, Let's try this for picture. Oh, yeah. All right, and to serve it, see how it's quite runny still? Wow, that's actually really runny. That's okay though. It's still delicious. And I got this vanilla ice cream. We had Pizza Hut the other night, and with our desserts, this was the ice cream. That looks and smells delicious. All right, so now a taste test. I'm a little bit nervous for the soggy bread, to be honest, but I definitely know the crispy top I'm gonna love. But let's just try it. Let's try a piece with a little bit of sogginess and the crispy top. Wow. No, that's good. Ice cream. All right, let's just try a piece that's completely soggy. No, that's still so good. Wow. And with the melted ice cream, so good. And it's absolutely delicious. Now I started, I couldn't stop. That is delicious. I am 100% going to be doing this exact recipe again with the rest of that bread. I was a little bit nervous with the texture. I'm a very textural person. That is so good. And I was also a little nervous, to be honest, about sourdough. That's why I collected so much before actually making this, because I love sourdough toasted. A thin piece of bread toasted, especially like toasted butter, toast it in a pan, put honey on top. Delicious. My favorite way to have the sourdough. But sourdough as the bread, I wasn't a fan of. So I was a little nervous how I was gonna like this or not. That is incredible. I've had bread and butter pudding before, just with like store-bought bread. Delicious. But this, oh my goodness, this is incredible. What do I think I'm gonna do? That leftover pudding, we will reheat it, I think, and serve the rest after dinner tonight when Nick's home, and we can both enjoy it together. And yeah, I might drop some off if there's leftovers. I don't know how much Nick will eat of it, and obviously I'm having some now, so I only have a little bit later. But if there's any leftovers, I don't know, we might drop it off to his mum or a friend or something. Because I don't think, I'm assuming it wouldn't be good to make this in advance and keep it in the fridge or have leftovers. I don't know, maybe it might be fine. To me, that sounds a little weird. So I don't really want to keep any of this for leftovers. But I also don't want it to go to waste because it is absolutely delicious. But that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. We still got a lot of projects to do in the freezer. This is only the second one. The project we done before this was chilies. So if you want to see that video, we made some sweet chili sauce and we canned it without a canner. So if you want to see that video will be in the description box below. As well in the description box below, I will have my Amazon links. I'm now an Amazon associate, so I have affiliate links. So if you want to click one of the links in the bio that takes you to Amazon and purchase something, I will get a small commission. It doesn't cost anything extra for you, just something little to support me. But that's more so like if you're going to shop on Amazon anyway, if you want to, or check out my favorite links. I do have our favorite products around the house linked in the description. I just got 10 items there. If you want to have a look, completely up to you. But that's just fun and exciting. But thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe down below. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.